A few months ago, I participated in the making of a short film called Secret Desire, in which we tried our hands at comedy. After Secret Desire, I wanted to make something different, like a horror film. When What If started materializing in my mind, it had much more than one murder. Initially, I was planning What If with human actors, but due to some problems, it did not materialize. Then I made a short study on different genres of animation and finally settled on the claymation. My first estimate for the running time for What If was 10 minutes, and I thought it was fairly audacious to try out a 10 minutes long animation movie at the first go. Finally, the movie became 6 minutes long, and I am happy that I made the right decision to go ahead with this movie. When I started with the script of What If, I had two things in mind. First is that the script should not be overly complex, and the second consideration was that I wanted to keep the ending a bit of open-ended.
Hello? Hello, Sandy. Sandy, there is a terrible news. Please come here immediately.
As is evident from the end of the film, it's anybody's guess what happens next when Sonia calls Sandy. Initially, I had thought of two different tracks for What If. In the first track, there would be a serial killer. Everybody would watch the news about the serial killer on the TV when Anita was not there. And in the end, Anita murders Rocky, revealing that she is the serial killer. But when I got the script reviewed by two of my friends, Pritam and Ravi, it was suggested that the track would become too obvious. So I shifted to the second track, where the murder of Rocky was the unexpected twist. To make sure the script translates well into a visual medium, I drew out a storyboard, a kind of comic strip for the script. These were very rough sketches, but it gave me a fair bit of idea about the camera angles, the special effects, the shadows, which would be a part of visual experience for this film. More on this when we discuss the pre-production. Pre-production was one of the most tiring phases of this project. It involved creating different sets for the movie and creating the clay models. The set of the exterior of the house, which appears maybe in one or two frames of the movie, took 4 hours to create. For the furniture within the house, like sofa set, I used old discarded boxes and covered them with colored paper. The comic strip conceptualization really worked here. As a test, I created this first clay model and then realized that it would not stand up. So I decided on making a skeleton for these models. The clay model skeletons, so-called armatures, were made up of thin aluminium wire. They were further covered in aluminium foil in human shape and then masked by clay. This made sure that the clay models were not too malleable, and it saved a great deal on the amount of clay used. In this picture you can see the 3 stages of clay model creation. On the left side there is the armature, in the middle there is the armature covered by aluminium foil, and on the right side there is the finished model. The joints of the armature are soldered together. It took me 2 full days to create those 5 models. The shoot involved erecting a makeshift set in my bedroom and shooting the models in various different backdrops with minute variations in their position. A normal movie plays at 30 frames per second, but the standard for clay animation is 10 frames per second. To give the final film a real film-like quality, I maintained that speed of 30 frames per second, but used each frame thrice. Mounting the camera on a tripod was a must, and the macro mode of my digital camera really helped. I shot all the frames in natural light without any artificial lighting and without use of a flash. The aluminium wire armature helped maintain the shape of the clay models, but it did not help them stand up. In the professional setup, they actually glue these models to the floor by using some soft material for the floor, but I did not have that luxury, so I pitted the models against pillows to make them stand up. At one point of time, I was practically holding one clay model in one hand and simultaneously clicking multiple photos with the other hand through a camera which was mounted on tripod. It must have been the best acrobatic feat that I have performed in many years. Since I was holding the clay model in my hand, I could not see the back of my camera where the screen was, and I had to manipulate all the controls blindly just by guessing where the controls were. Doing the character speak was the most difficult part. To make a particular character speak, I made multiple sets of lips. I would attach the first set of lips to the character, click a photo, remove the lips from that character using a toothpick, attach the second set of lips to that character, and again click a photo. During all this time, I had absolutely no luxury of breathing. To avoid showing lip movements in every scene where the characters speak, I adopted a different strategy. Like the Quentin Tarantino movies, where one character speaks and the camera is focused on other character, I have used such scenes lot of places in What If.